Hey everybody, it's me, Jimmy Flowers Guy. Didn't really want to do this video because this season, not this season, but season years ago, I have so many horrible horror stories about the '06, '07 Philadelphia Flyers season. And I was going to talk about the stats and everything and look at stuff like that. But I thought I would just do one part of this video. Now let's get into the beginnings, how this all came about. Um, in the summer of '06, didn't really hear any buzzings about the Flyers. They did get a few new players such as Jeff Sanderson, Lars Johnson, Lars Johnson, Eric Baumgartner. Um, those are the first new additions the Flyers got to the hockey team. Alexander Picard played for this team as well, so he was a call from the Phantoms. Um, this season started out very exciting. The Flyers, their preseason was lackluster, only winning one game. I think that was against the Devils. Faced off against the Washington Capitals, and they were beat like 8-1. And that was the game where Mike Richards dropped the gloves with Alex Ovechkin, who was a rookie at the time. Well, it was his second season at the Washington Capital. Caps were good back then. And then Flyers ended up losing to the Pittsburgh Penguins in the game in preseason, and also to the Ottawa Senators in overtime. I'm not sure who's in overtime or shit, but it might have been overtime. Um, After the game against the Ottawa Senators, there was some news about Niedermacher, and the news was that maybe Niedermacher was injured. He'd probably miss a few games. And that was the year he was getting career center shots in his hip. I think it might even be his hip or his groin. I forget what it was, and he was out for a few games. Robert Ashe, he struggled in a lot of games. And we go into the first game of the season against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Flyers were shut out by Pittsburgh in the first game of the season. They can't come back to Philadelphia for the home opener against the Rangers, and we all remember that game, like almost a 12-11 round shootout for the Philadelphia Flyers, in which they lost to the Rangers this year. Flyers competed well in that game, did everything they could. Niedermacher was a starter in that game. He played well, made some excellent saves. There was a back and forth affair between the Rangers. Flyers then faced the Rangers again in the second game at MSG. Flyers won that game. Then they go to Buffalo. They face the Sabres. They get beat 8-2. Buffalo Sabres. 8-2, but 9-2. Then they come home. They face the Penguins. Flyers. They have a fast start in that game, but it was all the Pittsburgh Penguins as they beat the Flyers 6-2. I remember Stefan Ruzicka got a goal for the Flyers in that game. He was sent back down, and I think Lars Johnson was sent down. I think Baumgartner still played. We also had another player, Randy Robitaille. He played for us for a little bit. Then in November, they played the Thrashers. They beat the Thrashers in the shootout. beat the Thrashers in the shootout. And prior to this, this is when Ken Hitchcock was relieved of his duties, and John Stevens took over as the coach for the Philadelphia Flyers that year. Forsberg was still feeling effects of injuries, even suffering a concussion in a game against the Capitals, where he was out for a few games. So I think Randy Robitaille, I think he stayed with the team, but then he was sent down to the Philadelphia Phantoms along with Laura Johnson. Ruzicka played for the Flyers briefly, but then was sent back down to the Phantoms later. Phantoms also had a pretty lackluster season as well, which was due to the fact that their pairing was not doing well. Then we go into the month of December. Flyers lose to the Senators. It was 4-3 to the Sens in December. And then, prior to that, it was the Sens in the shootout. And then, after Christmas, Flyers, they beat the Panthers. They beat Tampa Bay on the road. New Year's, a couple days before New Year's Eve, they beat the Carolina Hurricanes. It ended up losing to the Atlanta Thrashers. And we go until the last month of the season, April. They lose 2 games against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Prior to that, in March, they beat. Prior to that, in March, they beat the Boston Bruins. And at the time, as it was either around February or March, that Peter Forsberg was officially traded for Scotty Upshall and Ryan Parent, and we got Ryan Parent and Scotty Upshall in the Forsberg deal. Ryan Parent plays for the Philadelphia Phantoms. And also, Jenny Gauthier and Peter Nedved were both sent down to the Phantoms that year, and also Nico Dimitrakos was sent down as well. So, the Forsberg trade was a big trade. He just wasn't playing good here. With all the injuries that he had, they really put a damper on the Flyers' chances of winning games. Yeah, there was one game where Peter Forsberg really beat the Devils in overtime, and Forsberg was on the team, but they ended up trading Peter Forsberg. Flyers then get another goaltender, Michael Leighton. He played for the team briefly, and it was a revolving door of goaltenders for the Flyers. He then got sent down to the Phantoms later that season, and Flyers ended up trading him later. Flyers then got Martin Biron from Buffalo, and he played well in some young games as well. Flyers were winning, getting some good wins. There was that one game where it was Scotty Upshall who got the overtime game winner against the Boston Bruins. Flyers also had a victory over the Bruins in Philly back in March. Flyers then had 2 more games left on their schedule. They faced off against the New York Islanders. They lost that game, but they came close. It was a close game. I think it was a 3-2 loss, where Mike Richards scored that amazing breakaway goal on the Islanders. And then After that, Flyers had one more game, and it was on Easter Sunday, when they faced off against the Buffalo Sabres. Flyers got the victory in the season finale. Got a lot to say about this season. This season really, it really frustrated me. I remember at the time, I had MySpace, and every single day, all my posts on the MySpace bulletin were just frustration after frustration after frustration every single night. But in a way, this season was the catapult to much better much better things to come for the Philadelphia Flyers. I think after the season, Robert Esche officially retired from the NHL. I think many years later, he became the general manager of the Utica Comets. And I gotta say, the season was frustrating. It started out promising, but in the end, it was just frustrating. One of the main factors to this season's downfall was the Forsberg injuries, the many injuries that Peter Forsberg suffered. Whether it be a foot injury or a couple of concussions, it really put a damper on the season. I forgot to mention, Flyers also signed Mike York. They got Mike York that season. And they also got Alexei Zhitnik. And they also had Kyle Holder for a brief period of time. They ended up trading him as well. The season after this was a much better season. Flyers, they went all out during the off season of 06-07. During the off season in 07, which I'll explain more. I think I might do an episode about the 07-08 Philadelphia Flyers, or I might just skip all the way to 2010. I'll probably talk about the previous seasons before the 09-10 seasons in my next video. When I talk about the 2009-2010 series for the Philadelphia, the 2009-2010 season of the Philadelphia Flyers. Like I said, 06-07 was a lost season. It wasn't really a lost season, but this season was truly a lost cause for the Philadelphia Flyers. Showed a lot of good things for this team. Jeff Carter had a pretty good season. Mike Richards played well. But it just wasn't enough. This season was, I would say, kind of a rebuild. Because after this season, things started to get better for this hockey club. So, that's all I really have to say about the frustrating 06-07 Philadelphia Flyers season. This was one of the first horrible seasons. Sooner or later, I'll be getting to the abbreviated post-lockout season of 2013. But in my next video, I most likely will be talking about the 2009-2010 Philadelphia Flyers. Guys, thank you for joining me, and have a great day, everyone.